Sri Lanka is commonly known as the teardrop of India because the shape of this country on the world map resembles a teardrop. The name might sound somber, but the smiles and warmth have never faded from the faces and hearts of Sri Lankan women. They are genuine, hospitable, and always eager to be close to you. If you like drinking tea, Sri Lanka is the place you must go immediately to immerse yourself in the world-famous tea brand. The country is also home to a sacred Bodhi tree that's over 2,200 years old. And keep in mind, hotels in Sri Lanka aren't necessarily meant for sleeping. Get ready to be amazed and intrigued with 18 fascinating facts about Sri Lanka that you may not know yet. You won't believe your eyes. Sri Lanka is known for the lovely nicknamed Pearl of the Indian Ocean and Teardrop of India. The Pearl of the Indian Ocean is given to this small island nation, probably due to its incredible natural beauty, extraordinary biodiversity, as well as its precious gemstones. Besides, the island has a teardrop shape and is off the coast of India, which is easier to see from the map. That's why it is also called the Teardrop of India. Interestingly, some of you might not have heard about Sri Lanka much. Not a massive number of tourists find their way here, and given that it's an island, catching a flight is essential. Spanning over 65,000 square kilometers, Sri Lanka is teeming with life with over 23 million people living here. The country is known for its cultural and ethnic diversity, comprising Sinhalese, Tamil, Moorish, and many other ethnic groups. Sri Lanka's colonial history has left enduring influences on its cultural and economic landscape. Outside Colombo, the visible remnants of this legacy can still be seen. The island's colonial period began in the early 1500s under Portuguese rule. Later, the Dutch governed for about 150 years until the British claimed control in the early 1800s. During British rule, Sri Lanka, then known as Ceylon, underwent significant economic changes, especially through the establishment of large tea, coffee, and rubber plantations. These crops remain vital to Sri Lanka's economy. Even after achieving independence in 1948, the impact of colonialism continued to affect the country. Since independence, Sri Lanka has faced periods of economic and social instability. Conflicts between Tamil and Sinhalese communities, among others, disrupted economic growth and social harmony. Today, Sri Lanka continues to address the effects of these divisions. The nation's economic difficulties culminated in 2022 when it struggled with significant debt obligations, leading to challenges in securing essential imports, including fuel. If you've watched this far, we hope you're enjoying the information we're sharing. So, don't forget to take 5 seconds to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We have so much more to share with you. And now, let's dive into the world of tea together. If you're a tea drinker, your cup may come from Sri Lanka, formerly known as Ceylon, a name that has become synonymous with tea. The British introduced the first tea plant to the island in 1824, bringing it from China. This initial plant was displayed in the Royal Botanical Gardens outside Kandy, marking the start of what has become a major industry. Today, this teardrop-shaped island nation remains a leading tea producer and exporter, with over 1 million of its 23 million people employed in the tea industry. For tea enthusiasts visiting Sri Lanka, a stop at the Ceylon Tea Museum, located just 4 kilometers south of Kandy, is a must. It's the perfect place to enjoy a delightful cup of tea while exploring the rich history of tea production in Sri Lanka. Here you'll find exhibits dedicated to tea pioneers like James Taylor and Thomas Lipton, who helped make tea a staple in daily life in the United Kingdom. When visiting Sri Lanka, tourists are often greeted with smiles and sincere welcomes, not only at famous tourist sites, but also in rural villages and small towns. Sri Lankans place great importance on upholding community values, respect, and hospitality, and they will go out of their way to assist you if you need help. Children are everywhere, curious and quick to smile at foreigners. Offer them some chocolates or small gifts, and you'll witness their unparalleled joy. Sri Lankan women have a unique and distinctive beauty. Their allure lies not only in their appearance but also in the grace and confidence they radiate from within. Common physical traits include a healthy brown skin tone, thick black hair, and deep, captivating eyes, reflecting the characteristic charm of South Asian women. Sri Lankan women often dress in traditional attire for special occasions, wearing a sari, a long garment wrapped around the body, which accentuates their elegance and dignity. Saris usually feature vibrant colors and intricate patterns, highlighting the gentle yet striking beauty of Sri Lankan women. What makes Sri Lankan women even more captivating is their confidence and gentle nature. They are usually polite, gracious, and warm-hearted, qualities that shine through in the way they interact with others and in how they express themselves. Sarah from Canada shared, "I was attending a wedding in Kandy, and it was my first time seeing Sri Lankan women dressed in their traditional saris. The intricate designs and vibrant colors were mesmerizing. I remember how each woman carried herself with such grace and poise. They shared stories of their culture with me, which made me feel welcomed and included in a way I never expected." Daniel from Germany also had similar experience. "I was staying at a small family-run guest house in Gali. The host family was so hospitable, always offering tea and local snacks. One evening, the mother of the family even dressed me in a traditional sarong for a cultural event. She patiently showed me how to wrap it properly, laughing along with me as I fumbled. It was such a fun and memorable experience, and I felt connected to their way of life." Have you had similar experiences during your travels, where a culture's warmth and beauty left a lasting impression on you? Or, if you're planning a trip to Sri Lanka, what are you most excited to experience? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I can't wait to hear your stories. In most cultures, one nods one's head to show consent and says no with the shaking of their head. That is not the case in Sri Lanka. When meaning yes, people of the island nation actually shake their head from side to side. Oliver from New Zealand shares that, "During my first few days in Sri Lanka, I kept getting mixed up with the head gestures. I asked a local for directions, and he started shaking his head side to side, which I assumed meant no. Confused, I began to walk away, but he quickly stopped me and pointed in the right direction. We both laughed, and he explained that a side-to-side head shake means yes." In Sri Lanka, by the end of my trip, I was even using the gesture myself. When traveling across Sri Lanka, you may see signs saying hotel, but it may not be a place to stay overnight, as it is common for restaurants, cafes, and bars to be named as hotels. The exact reason for this is not known. If you ask locals, they would probably say it is just a cool thing to do. On their trip, Sophie and Jack from Canada share, "We were wandering around Jaffna, looking for a place to rest for the night, and saw a sign for Seaside Hotel. When we went in, we were offered a menu instead. After explaining our confusion, the staff smiled and told us that in Sri Lanka, many cafes and restaurants call themselves hotels. It became an ongoing joke for us every time we saw a new hotel sign." Have you ever mistaken a hotel during your trip to Sri Lanka? Comment yes or no below and share your story with everyone. Sri Lanka's economy is a blend of agriculture, tourism, and local customs deeply tied to its rich natural landscape. Here I'll take you through Sri Lanka's fascinating economic lifelines, from fields of tea to the traditions of fishing. Sri Lanka is internationally known for its high-quality tea, placing it among the top tea exporters globally, alongside industry leaders like China and India. Rice is the mainstay of Sri Lankan cuisine, grown extensively across the island's plains and consumed daily by nearly every household. Fishing is woven into Sri Lanka's coastal culture, where you'll see boats of all kinds lining the shores. Fishing communities are hardworking, often exposed to the tropical sun for hours daily, with their darker skin reflecting a life spent near the sea. Sri Lanka's tourism is experiencing a steady resurgence, with visitors drawn to its diverse offerings, stunning beaches, ancient temples, tea plantations, and vibrant festivals. "Are you a Buddhist?" is a common greeting in Sri Lanka. With nearly 70% of the population practicing Buddhism, Sri Lanka is home to numerous temples, easily recognized by their characteristic white paint and Bodhi trees planted at their entrances. Buddhism was introduced to Sri Lanka in the 3rd century BCE, and for over 2,000 years, it has been regarded as the state religion on the island. Because of this, nearly every landmark and cultural heritage site of the Teardrop of India is closely connected with Buddhism. Many Buddhist sites have been preserved to this day, among which the sacred Bodhi tree, revered by Sri Lankans, stands out. This tree, over 2,200 years old, is a branch from the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, where Prince Siddhartha meditated for 49 days and attained enlightenment, becoming the Buddha. Another significant landmark in Sri Lanka's Buddhist heritage is the Dambulla Rock Temple, the largest and best-preserved rock temple complex in Sri Lanka. It rises 160 meters above its surroundings and features over 80 caves. This impressive site is ideal for art enthusiasts, especially the 5 caves that span 2,000 square meters, housing statues and paintings depicting the Buddha's life in grand detail. Statues of the Buddha, encased in glass frames, are commonly seen on street corners and in public spaces, adding a serene presence throughout the country. Curry is a staple ingredient in Sri Lankan cuisine. Restaurants proudly display banners saying, "Curry buffet available here." At any time of day, from breakfast to lunch, afternoon tea, or dinner, whether it's a family meal or a large gathering, the vibrant colors and spicy aroma of curry find their way into every dish. For visitors, it leaves an unforgettable impression, as the rich, indescribable flavors create a remarkable culinary experience that's hard to forget once tasted. Sri Lanka is home to a vibrant handicraft tradition that reflects its cultural heritage and artistry. Local artisans, many of whom work in small, family-owned workshops, earn a living by carving and painting wood, transforming it into stunning souvenirs and cultural artifacts. Each piece tells a story, often inspired by the island's rich history, mythology, and religious symbolism. Hand-carved masks, intricate wooden sculptures, and finely painted pottery are among the most popular items. Skilled artisans often use local woods, like teak and mahogany, adding color with natural dyes and painting techniques passed down through generations. These crafts, sold in bustling marketplaces or directly from small village workshops, represent both livelihood and tradition for these artisans. When buying these items, a bit of haggling is expected and even appreciated. Typical asking prices range from 200,000 to 400,000 Indonesian rupiah. Though with good bargaining, prices can come down significantly. Remember, the average income in Sri Lanka is modest. Currently, the minimum wage is around 26,000 Sri Lankan rupees, or roughly 1.2 million Indonesian rupiah. Sri Lanka is famous for having the largest elephant gathering in the world. Also nicknamed the Gathering, this event takes place every year in Minaria National Park in Sri Lanka. During the dry season, more than 300 elephants gather at the national park's water tank to drink, bathe, and eat the freshly grown grass. It's basically one big elephant party, where you can both spot matriarchs with their babies and bull elephants searching for females. It should be one of the most incredible things to experience in Sri Lanka. So, make sure to visit Minaria National Park if you're in Sri Lanka during August-September, when the gathering should be at its highest. Colombo, Sri Lanka's dynamic capital, sits on the island's western coast, blending modernity with a touch of rustic charm. From above, it resembles any thriving metropolis, with a skyline punctuated by tall buildings and bustling streets, yet it has a unique feel shaped by history, culture, and a close relationship with nature. Just beyond its urban core, visitors encounter serene beaches where cows rest undisturbed on the sandy shores, a sight reflecting the deep respect Sri Lankan culture holds for these gentle animals. Geographically, Colombo is remarkably close to India. The shortest stretch of sea between the two countries measures only about 34 kilometers. One of Colombo's most notable landmarks is its elongated, oval-shaped observation tower, known as the Lotus Tower. This iconic structure is an essential stop for visitors, not only for its unusual architecture, but for the spectacular panoramic views it offers of the city and coastline from its heights. Opened as a tourism attraction, the tower allows locals and tourists alike to experience Colombo's modern skyline against the backdrop of the Indian Ocean. Beyond the city's busy streets, Colombo offers reminders of Sri Lanka's natural diversity. Monkeys and other wild animals can be seen on the outskirts, coexisting with the rustic, countryside charm that lies just beyond the urban bustle. Sri Lanka's north-south cultural differences are fascinating, shaped by unique historical influences and distinct traditions. The northernmost areas, predominantly inhabited by Tamils, share much in common with the southern regions of India, particularly Tamil Nadu. This similarity extends to language, cuisine, and customs, creating a cultural bridge between these regions that has been strengthened over centuries. In contrast, the southern part of Sri Lanka has a Sinhalese majority, leading to clear differences in cultural practices, lifestyle, and even daily routines. The Tamil population in Sri Lanka has deep historical roots, having migrated from southern India generations ago. After Sri Lanka's independence, however, complex issues around residency led to the repatriation of about 600,000 Tamils back to India. Yet many Tamil families remain, contributing significantly to the country's cultural and linguistic landscape. Today, Tamil and Sinhala are both official languages, reflecting the multicultural composition of the nation. For travelers, this diversity becomes evident in daily interactions, festivals, and local dialects heard in markets and towns. Transportation in Sri Lanka offers a blend of convenience and tradition, from tuk-tuks in the cities to rustic blue buses and vintage trains that traverse the island's picturesque countryside. Tuk-tuks, or three-wheelers, are perfect for short city trips. In Colombo, these small, agile vehicles weave through traffic with ease and are a familiar sight on every street. For longer journeys between cities, the iconic blue buses and older trains are the primary options. The buses may appear a bit worn, many are decades old, but they are reliable and affordable, providing travelers a quintessential Sri Lankan experience. One of the most beloved transportation experiences is a train journey. The routes from Colombo to the Central Highlands and the coastal areas offer breathtaking views of tea plantations, dense forests, and rugged cliffs. Many travelers find themselves leaning out of windows, capturing the scenic beauty and untouched landscapes that pass by. This slower pace allows for an immersive travel experience, connecting passengers with the rhythms of the land. Beyond the buses and trains, Colombo is also home to landmarks such as the Red Mosque, a striking architectural piece serving the Muslim community. This mosque stands as a symbol of the country's religious diversity and offers visitors an inspiring glimpse of Sri Lanka's Islamic heritage. Sri Lanka's beaches are a world apart from crowded tourist hubs, offering an experience deeply intertwined with local life and nature. Along the coast, fishermen occupy many of these shores where traditional fishing boats dot the sands. It's common to see fishermen casting nets or using a unique stilt fishing technique, in which they perch on tall poles anchored near the shore. The presence of marine life also keeps the beaches close to nature. In the warmer months, crabs, turtles, and other sea creatures occasionally make their way onto the sand, a sight that can be both fascinating and unexpected. While this natural interaction appeals to many, some tourists may find it unusual, leading them to favor other destinations. As a result, Sri Lanka's beaches remain relatively quiet, an ideal setting for those seeking serenity and a connection with the land. Sri Lanka's southern coast, facing the vast Indian Ocean, has become a beloved destination for professional surfers. Here, powerful waves roll in, providing challenging surf breaks ideal for seasoned surfers seeking a raw, untamed experience. The beaches also offer a unique blend of nature and comfort, with nearby hotels surrounded by lush greenery and local wildlife. These accommodations cater to travelers seeking relaxation away from the beach, offering pools, traditional Sri Lankan hospitality, and guided jeep tours through the nearby countryside. Daily life in Sri Lanka is a blend of tradition and simplicity, reflected in its architecture, bustling streets, and the rhythm of everyday activities. In Sri Lankan cities, you'll notice that buildings often have a modest, lived-in look, with faded facades that reveal the effects of tropical weather and time. Most structures are low-rise, reflecting a practical approach to construction in a climate that calls for open, airy spaces rather than towering skyscrapers. The streets are alive with movement, but you'll see fewer cars than in Western cities. Instead, motorcycles and small vehicles dominate the roads, weaving through narrow streets lined with local shops. Many Sri Lankans operate small family-owned businesses, from vibrant fruit stands to tea stalls, giving the cities a charming entrepreneurial spirit. These small shops serve as gathering spots where locals connect and exchange news, adding to the sense of community that defines daily life here. Sri Lanka's festivals and traditional beliefs offer an intriguing glimpse into a society deeply connected to its spiritual roots. With over 25 unique festivals celebrated annually, Sri Lankan life is filled with rituals and celebrations, many of which are tied to religious observances and seasonal changes. These festivals showcase the nation's devotion, creativity, and community spirit, often surprising visitors with their originality and deep meaning. One of the most unique rituals can be seen during Sri Lanka's New Year festival, where participants perform acts of gratitude that include rolling on the ground around temples. This practice, symbolizing humility and respect for divine forces, is meant to bring good fortune for the coming year. While many younger Sri Lankans approach these events with a light-hearted spirit, older generations maintain a reverent dedication, faithfully observing the customs passed down from their ancestors. Another well-known event is the Asala Perahera in Kandy, a grand 10-day festival featuring a procession of dancers, drummers, and lavishly decorated elephants. The Perahera, centered on honoring the sacred tooth relic of Buddha, is a visual spectacle of devotion and artistry, with locals and travelers alike gathering to witness this impressive display of faith and cultural heritage. Deep in Sri Lanka's dense forests, far removed from modern society, lives a unique indigenous group known as the Veta Tribe. Considered one of the last remnants of Sri Lanka's ancient civilizations, the Veta people maintain a lifestyle that has changed little over centuries. Their existence revolves around a close relationship with the land, relying on the forest for food, shelter, and all the essentials of life. The Veta people can be identified by their simple attire, often just cloth wraps and handmade accessories, and the tools they carry, bows, arrows, and spears crafted for gathering. Living without the amenities of modern society, they roam the forests and practice traditional gathering methods to survive. Beyond gathering, the Veta practice foraging and rely on medicinal plants found in the forest. They have developed extensive knowledge of the natural environment, from edible roots to herbs used in traditional healing. Their diet is largely shaped by what the forest offers, and their survival techniques reveal an intricate understanding of the ecosystem that supports them. The Veta people are not entirely isolated. Some tribe members occasionally interact with neighboring villages, trading forest products for basic goods. However, they remain wary of external influences, striving to preserve their distinct way of life. Between May and September, the south coast and west coast of Sri Lanka are lashed by the southwest monsoon, which brings plenty of rainfall and choppy seas, while northern and eastern parts of the island are fine and dry. When the northeast monsoon hits Sri Lanka between November and March, the south and west are at their best, and it's the northern and eastern parts of Sri Lanka that see the showers. In fact, monsoon rainfall in Sri Lanka is quite sporadic. Expect short, sharp downpours interspersed with long, hot, sunny spells. Traveling to different parts of Sri Lanka during their rainy off-seasons has its rewards. Visitor numbers fall, and hotel rates drop quite significantly. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love this content. Comment below about the next country you want to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.
Thanks for being with us on this great journey. Leave your thoughts in the comments and like to help us. Remember to subscribe for more. See you soon.